$5:30. It's 5:30. Call to order the Downtown Development Authority Board meeting, August the 26th, 5:30 p.m. at the Comstock Township Hall, 5858 King Highway, Kalamazoo, Michigan, 49048. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Jeffrey Townsend here. Keith Witcher.
Here.
Ben Martin.
Here.
William Knight.
Here.
John Geisler. He's not here. He gave me a call. He's going to be in a board meeting out of town. Larry Rabbit.
Here.
Matt Elliott.
Here.
John Scoley.
Here.
Jasper Nannon.
No.
It's not.
He said he was gonna be here, so maybe he just run all right.
Approval of the agenda.
Anybody have any adjustments to the agenda? I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. Approval of July 22nd, 26th DDA meeting. Any action?
I'll make a motion we approve the minutes as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? None. Approved agenda. Public comment. A person may speak only one time for no more than 3 minutes. This time may not be given to another person to extend their time. The person speaking has the floor and no other person shall speak during someone else's time. During this time, you will be making statements to the board without discussion from the board members, but you are welcome to make an appointment with the authority director to discuss your comments further. Please keep comments clean and respectful.
Good evening, Tim Kearney,
Good evening.
9411 Miller Drive. Come down, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I think the DDA board's responsibilities are and everything, and as a business owner and somebody that looks forward to putting into my pension and retirements and looking at the stocks and markets and ups and downs, a cash revolving account is critical. And when the DDA puts money towards its DDA district, tax people that pay back to that is a revolving account. So that information, I think, is critical to understand that you can keep your money coming back in when you help people within the DDA district, and maybe not focus so much on trees or sidewalks, which won't give you taxes back. You're just spending money and not receiving money back, and 2 times a year from your taxes in the DDA district. That being said, I gave you all a letter of support that's straight from Michigan, state of Michigan, with statistics and from Kalamazoo County specifically that we work with, because we're in Kalamazoo County, but it's endorsed by all of the top dogs right sitting with Gretchen up there right now. That letter just goes to show you that what we try to do in our foundation. We don't need your help. We have plenty of opportunities to get funding and grants through that letter and move forward with what we do. We wanted to ask if you wanted to participate in helping us get a parking lot repaved in back of our facility, and if you would be willing to discuss maybe the DDA getting on board to help support our mission from what we're doing. So I've given you a quote from Lakeland and the letter of support that we use for when we write grants. That's pretty strong because it comes from both state and county levels. So hopefully you guys bring up a discussion maybe and are wanting to get on board and help us help these kids and take some weight off of us as we try to rebuild that facility next door on the corner. We've invested about $750,000 to bring it back in just less than a year. A lot of it has been out of my own funds and not grant money, but we're pursuing quite heavily for some revolving grants coming that are pretty much guaranteed coming up. So I just wanted to put that in front of you and show that, you know, we're not just pulling your leg. We have the letters, we have the documentation, and we're going to move forward with pretty major stuff here in the future. So hopefully you guys want to get on board and help us with our mission. At least have a discussion and see if you would like to support that. Obviously, we would be paying taxes back to you in your revolving account twice a year. So, and then it also would be a benefit when our foundation continues to grow with a lot of finances that we can support the DDA's direction as well. So that's all I really have to report to you guys tonight for comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kearney. Is there any questions that anyone have for Mr. Kearney?
When you say join you in the project, or is your parking lot, are you looking for like a financial joining, and if so, how much?
We would, I mean, obviously, we would welcome $40,000, the total bid from you if you'd be willing to, or a match or anything, just to help us get moving forward. We're looking at probably about $200,000 to get our launch done and our
Mr. Kearney, I didn't mean
That's
to
my
cut you
fault,
off.
not him. I asked him. Sorry about that.
We're gonna have a discussion at the end because we got you on.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Chair and Vice Chair's business card discussion. Any action?
May I? Mr. Chair?
Vice Chair?
He's asking you.
Can I
I'm
speak?
sorry.
Continue, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my thought process on it. We spent quite a bit of money on the siren, and we haven't got any really revenue coming in at the moment, other than taxes and whatnot, and that's not very much right now. I do think that business cards are probably necessary, at least for the chair and vice chair, but I don't believe right now is the time to buy them. That may be something we can revisit next year, but currently I don't believe it's a good idea for us to spend any more, because we're getting ready to spend on the Fall Fest as well. So we got a lot of big expenditures that are coming out in a couple months time frame, so any little bit of spending that we don't necessarily need, I would advise against.
Thank you. Mrs. Coley, you have anything?
Yeah, I see it both ways. If we really need them, get them. Business cards, you can get like 1,000 off of Vistaprint for like $10, I think. When I print off business cards and everything, I go to Vistaprint, I think I get like 1,000 for like $10 to $13 shipped to your door. But I mean, if we don't need to spend the money, let's not spend it.
Vice Chair, you have anything to say?
Yeah, because I'm directly affected by this. I'm going to say I agree with both of y'all. more, William, than the rest. Yes, I think business cards would be appropriate at a time, but I don't think right now is that time. Let's get the board settled, get some business done, and then make cards.
Thank you. Supervisor Mark?
I would just look at the planning commission. If the planning commission has had cards, I don't think that they do, and they bring a lot of township business forward. I think it's a good idea. I just would like to see us figure out one good solid jab at what we can do to get some TIF coming in on the back end before we spend some money.
Member Rabbit?
Did you get a quote on a price? Did you say?
No, I didn't quote it at all. I wasn't gonna quote anything until we got approval or whatever. But the township has a company that they use that we could just go through too.
If you're talking about $10, $20, at least for,
Microphone.
I thought it was on. $10 or $20 at least for the chair. That'd be one thing, I think, but really only one or two people need them in the first place. It's hard to walk up to somebody and introduce yourself and they hand you a card that says they're state DDA rep, you know, for the state of Michigan, and I'm the chair in Kalamazoo, Comstock Township, and you got a card? No. You know, he is doing business that represents the board, and it's hard sometimes to just say you are. It's a little easy. I mean, anybody can get a card made up, but, you know, if you got one in your hand to hand them, even if we got them just for the chairman, that would be, I think, sufficient.
Thank you. Mr. Elliott?
I agree with Larry on that, just for the chair, you know, $10, whatever, you know. I don't know why we're discussing $10, $20 for a card, so, you know, he's right. It's easier for you to go up and say, hey, I'm the chair. So, it's up to you guys. I mean, I'm fine either way.
Thank you. I also believe it's necessary because I'm out there in the public, and just telling them who I am is not enough for some people, especially representing, you know, downtown development authority board. If we try to not solicit, but they want to donate to the board. You know, I'm not just dealing with people that's walking to the grocery store, to the ice cream place, but these are businessmen and women who are, you know, going to look at you. Okay, can I have your business card? Is there email? Is there other information that could prove that you say you are? I think it's necessary that we have cards for the chair and the vice chair. Do we need to vote on this or not?
It's an possible action item after discussion.
I think we should get a quote.
I would advise it. I mean, I buy my own business cards at work, and they're $56 for 250. So I'm not saying that you can't get them for $10, but the part business cards that I get are not.
What?
So that's what I based my decision off of, is 250 business cards for $56 seems like a lot of money. That's $100 for the both of us.
I bought them a couple of years ago, so it could have went up since then.
Mine come with like a barcode and a QR code and all.
I don't have any of
more
that.
elaborate, but I understand where you're coming from. So I would ask that we quote them and see what that action leads to.
If it's $56 for 1,000, did you say?
No, for 200.
200? Well, would it be right if the chair just say, hey, look, if the board is not going to approve of it, I'll take care of it myself? Would
That's
that be-
completely acceptable. We are a
Okay.
volunteer board.
Just
You
want to
can
know.
purchase anything you want to represent the DDA as a volunteer.
Just ask the question.
So why don't we get a quote?
I agree with Mr. Rabbit. I think we should get a quote and then make a decision. We need to know what we're spending before we say, yeah, we'll spend it.
Sure.
I mean, granted, it's a small amount of money, but fiscal responsibility is fiscal responsibility. You're not spending your money, we're spending taxpayer money.
Sure. So how do we go forward this by?
just direct me to get a
for
quote.
business cards.
So I need a motion for someone to
I
get
make a motion that we get a quote on business cards for the chairman, and then for the chairman and the vice chair. Two separate quotes.
second.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carried. DDA member T-shirt order discussion.
May I, Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of say the same thing. This is a little bit more expensive than a business card. We are a donation, volunteer board. If you guys would like a shirt, it is possible to get them. Maybe we could think about purchasing them ourselves currently instead of having the DDA purchase it. Because I believe that would be quite a big expenditure. And as I was saying, I would recommend against big spending right now, or really any spending that is not necessary.
So when the rule apply just the same as the board, as the cards versus the shirts?
I have a bit of discussion with that.
Yeah.
So later in your packet, you're going to discuss the going to the MEDC. And I think if we're going to go to an event where we have to introduce ourselves to people, having a shirt with the logo of the township and your name on it, it's not a bad idea.
Well, if we're gonna have shirts, if we're gonna approve or purchase a DDA shirt, the cards are the same.
No, I say we quote the shirts the same as we're quoting the cards.
I think you can wear your business clothes, your dress clothes, than to, you know.
You can get dress shirts.
Yeah, that's what, from what I saw, what Steve had, it was a polo, which was a standard dress
He
shirt.
also had a
Yeah, just the flyer he showed us that day was, and they were $20 a piece from what I was told at that time. And I agreed at that time to pay for my own shirt. I didn't want.
I think we all did when it was originally brought up.
Yeah, we were just
Say we
gonna
buy our own.
we were just gonna buy our own shirts. That's what I remember that discussion being, but that's could have been 6-8 months ago now. Time flies.
Matt, you have anything you'd like to add to it?
No, I don't have anything.
Mr. Scully?
Will the shirts have our names on it? Because say something happens, we have to get off the board. Did the board waste the $20, $30 if you got to get off? Or is it just a DDA shirt, doesn't say your name on it? I mean, personally, I wouldn't want my name on it just because, like, if I do have to get off the board for some odd reason and everything like that, I want the DDA to be able to use the shirt. You know, granted, someone might not be the same size as me, but still, you could use it pretty quick to go to an event, go do something like that. You know, I wouldn't mind forking out $20 or $30 or $40 for a polo shirt that says DDA on it. I wouldn't mind if, depending on how big the quote is, I wouldn't mind just forking out the money, just like you said, maybe for the business cards, just paying for the shirt myself. You know, but just to have that, it be DDA, but not my name on it, because I'm just, if I ever do get off.
I do believe this logo was on the shirt.
Yeah.
So it was like a logo up in this corner, and it was this logo the same as is on the paper.
So we're gonna look for a motion to see what the cost is going to be.
I make a motion, we get quotes for the shirts to find out what we're looking at as far as an expenditure goes.
Is that
I
second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None.
Quick question on that.
Yeah.
When we get quotes for stuff like that, are we doing just one place? Does like Comstock have a place to go to, or do we get like 2 or 3?
They have a place that designs their shirts,
Okay.
or they stitch their shirts. I'm not sure if that's the same one Steve used. That's something I would have to investigate and try to track down, but I would assume it would be.
I have thoroughly went through that cabinet.
Yeah.
And did not find the shirt flyer.
There was a catalog that he had that he showed me.
Well, there you go.
It's likely the one that the township uses,
I believe
but
so, yeah.
I'll get some information and figure it out.
Okay.
National Night Out. Any action on that?
We don't have any action, Mr. Chair. It's just kind of an overview, after-action review. We had a really good turnout. Again, we had 100 hot dogs and chips and waters and whatnot. Thanks again for the donation from Mr. Kearney. It was a huge success. Everybody came in, we got rid of everything and got to mingle with the community a little bit. It was a good day.
Yeah, there's some pictures in your packet that shows the fun we had. Hot dogs was delicious. If you want to take a look at it.
I think it was a good success. I think a lot of people realized that, especially when we had the signs out talking about the siren and everything, because I was asked questions about it later.
Are you? So it seemed to be a pretty busy event.
Yeah.
And we had the sheriff's department, the paramedics.
Yeah, I think we can also, up at the next season, add a little more to it. Some other events with what we're having. I think we can add something else to it. Just a thought.
Question, how did we advertise that event? I know you said we partnered with the sheriff's department. Did they advertise it at all?
They advertised it. It was on our Facebook, on the township's Facebook as well. And I uploaded it to our webpage.
Okay.
Thank you. The weather siren update.
It will be hopefully installed this calendar year, and if they're having a little bit of issue with certain parts and components, but it's about 6 to 8 weeks out. But even if it takes a little longer and it's winter, they apply install year-round. So they're hoping to get it up before the end of this year.
Good.
Fall Fest. Fall Fest, in discussion and planning, I will say that the music department or the musicians, pause for a moment, one member walking in.
Thanks for making it.
We're on the Fall Fest discussion.
You do have this in your packet as well.
Yeah.
About that.
Would you like to have anything to say, Secretary?
Yeah. Okay, so historically, the DDA has done 4 things for Fall Festival. We've coordinated the greenhouse vendors. We've coordinated a refreshment plan, like ice cream floats and whatnot. And then we coordinate food vendors and then live music. Currently, the greenhouse vendors are already secured. I've already contacted them, got their insurance cards already given to the parks. They're done. As far as I know, we need to plan the refreshments. And the food vendors, I'm gonna let the vice chair talk about, and I'll let the chair talk about the music since you've been coordinating that.
Yeah, we did. I did book him for $400, and that's secure, depending on if we're going to vote on the monies.
We would need a vote.
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
All right, so for the food, I've already got a cheesecake vendor, because I love cheesecake. Sorry, y'all. And spoke with Monkey Shines and 2 other vendors. In fact, we talked with, I actually spoke with the lady who was going to get this building over here, but it fell out.
Yeah.
The Roonies, that was their last name. I invited them to kind of bring them back into the fold a little bit, see if we can get them interested in another building here in town. They're willing to come as well. So they'll be in touch with the township all within the next few days to get the information needed, I guess, for their insurance and so on and so forth. Monkey Shines has already been here before. He knows what he needs to do. He's just going to walk over one day. And then the guy that's doing the cheesecake, the day before that, he'll be at the state capitol doing a farmer's market there, so he gets around quite a bit. So it's specialty cheesecake, so he'll be turning in his paperwork within the next week.
So for the food cart vendors, are we short of having what we're looking for, or?
From what I looked at historically, pulling the paperwork in Steve's office, there was 2, then 3. So they had 2 the first time, then 3 the last time. I'm shooting for 3 to 4.
So how
We're
many?
just trying to increase a little bit every year.
So how many do we have now, Tony?
Right now, 1 for sure, 2 filling out paperwork.
I have another one that you can call and talk to.
Give me the information and I'll be in touch with them as well.
Okay.
Also, there's, the park sent over a list of vendors.
I saw that.
I don't know if you reached out to all of
2
those.
of them are already being the ones I'm talking to. The rest of those I need to talk to.
Okay,
Because I think Nico's, didn't they?
That's Monkey
that's
Shine.
Monkey Shine.
So Nico's is owned by the guy that owns Monkey Shine.
Okay.
So that's Monkey Shine's.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Thank you. The Michigan Downtown Association.
Oh, we're still on, we
So
still
we
have
need
business.
to determine the DDA refreshment plan. Does someone else would like to take over that little responsibility, or I can? I mean, it doesn't matter to me. We're just dealing with how to get some sodas and, what does it say here?
It's
I forgot my.
ice cream floats or ice cream sandwiches. I recommend ice cream sandwiches. It's easier, less mess.
Less to come up with as well.
Yes.
Because floats, you're gonna have to come up with ice cream, root beer,
Cups, spoons.
scoops. Ice cream sandwiches, you just need to go to Sam's. Get a big ass box.
So
of ice cream
you're
sandwiches.
looking for us to do,
Well, I mean, if we're discussing our historical responsibilities, do you agree that we should continue with what we have already done in the past?
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So if so, then we need to look at getting ice cream sandwiches or something to that effect.
Didn't we also do water last year, I believe?
On this one, you're gonna catch me because I didn't go last year, so I
I
don't
don't-
know.
I can't
what we
remember
did
what we
last
had
year as
last
far
year.
as that went.
I believe they did water too, but I'm not 100% sure.
Microphone, please.
Oh, my God. Dang it. I must be turning it off when I turn it on.
No, it's-
I think last year they did water too. I remember they were under the South Pavilion and they had stuff set up that they were doing. They had 3 or 4 tables there, and I think they had water also. If we're gonna ice cream and water, I mean, they did take your pick, more or less.
I don't buy ice cream sandwiches and water, but I know you do. Can you give us a rough estimate of what we would be looking at for a decent amount of this?
Yeah, a 40 pack of Ice Mountain is $6.38 per pack. And then the ice cream sandwiches, I'm not from like 100%, but it comes to about 67 cents per, something like that. I think if you buy it in bigger bulk, you can get it down to like 50 cents, but that won't be a problem.
So a budget roughly in your mind, an estimate, like $200 be enough to cover that?
Yeah, you'd have more than, like if you want, what is that? $100 in water would probably have
A lot.
like 300-400 bottles of water.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then you'd have more than enough than $100 worth of ice cream sandwiches. So that should be more than enough.
So as a board, what do y'all think a good estimate?
Do we know what last year's attendance was?
Not a clue. I don't know. I wasn't there.
it was packed.
No,
In his records, he does not note attendance. Right, so nowhere in his records of the events does he tell you how many or an estimate does.
I think maybe,
The Parks Department may have
right.
that information.
I think
Miss
that,
Katie may have.
Katie Justa might be able to.
Yeah, she,
Because I think she was the one keeping track. She was the one that had a clicker in her hand. Let's put it that way.
when we talked with her, she mentioned having some idea of the amount of people.
I can reach out
She
to her
was
and
telling
get an
us that she
estimate.
wanted to change the plan because of the amount of people.
So if,
Well, I would say that it was a full house.
if we had 200 people show up, we need to be ready for 200 plus.
Do we,
Go ahead, Mr.
Or at
do we
least
know
200
how much we
people.
spent last year? Like a rough estimate?
It's easily findable by just pulling the month
Because
before.
in my opinion, I would take that budget and then give it another 10 or 15% for
Because
inflation.
his budget also included like the entertainment, right? And the entertainment this year is more expensive than it was last year. So I don't know if we.
That's why I was
we would
saying
have
give it
to-
like 10 or 15% of what we did last year, just have that as the budget, and if we need to come back and reapprove it.
The problem with it is the Fall Fest is 1 day or 2 days after our next meeting.
Yeah, we're not gonna have that much
So
time.
we have to make a decision on how much money we are going to allocate to this event today. So we can't wait to just kind of do a whole lot more research in his office. Go ahead.
So a quick question. So can we just do drumsticks instead? Because I know those are more available. They travel better.
Probably.
My only question with that is peanuts. If
Sure.
someone has a peanut allergy, can
That
we
makes
get the
sense.
drumsticks without, because I love those drumsticks, trust me.
Sure. So a Fat Boy at Sam's Club is $9.46 for a count of 18 ice cream sandwiches. So we anticipate 300-ish,
Yeah.
right? Let's do the math.
150-ish.
So that's 16 times 10. So you need about $170 for your ice cream sandwiches and
Ice Mountain right now is on sale for $5.99 at Meijer. They are all out of their own brand.
yeah. The problem with Myers is it's a smaller package. So you can get Pure Life at Sam's Club for $4.88 for a 40-pack.
For a 40-pack?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you figured 8 packs for,
I'd always overestimate. Some people drink more than one. So that's that. That equals 5. So you shouldn't spend more than $250.
so we allot $250 for the refreshments. Does everybody kind of agree with that? Because we're going to have to come up with a motion pretty quickly about what we're going to allot to this today.
Well, we can do them individually if we want.
I mean, food vendors don't cost anything. They do their own thing through them. We just arrange them getting here. The greenhouse vendors, same thing, that we don't charge them to be there, so they don't owe us anything. We don't pay them to come. Go ahead.
Why don't, 25, 40 to 4. If we budget, let's say 400 or 500, but we buy according to, let's say 200 people, and then we just use what we have to. Would
I'm
we be
inclined
able
to agree with you.
Budget more
Would we be,
than
budget
you're
a
gonna
little bit
probably
more?
need and then come in less.
Would we be able to get the dry ice from you?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Okay.
My idea, and I'll tell y'all what I was thinking, it was $800. Budget 800, that's 400 for the entertainment, 400 for the food, and whatever you don't use, put it back in there.
I would
Back
support that.
brick.
I was thinking 800 to 1,000.
Yeah, because I think you don't really need 1,000 if we can get the food for, let's say, 300 on the high end.
Yep.
If we can get the entertainment for 400, that's 700. It gives us $100 padding in case we didn't add something or we forgot something.
That's,
Because we still have to get stickers. Okay, I don't know, this is not on the packet, but it's something that still has to be bought. All the Fall Fest signs say 2025. You have to get new vinyls to cover all of those. You're looking at probably $40 to $50 according to sign crafters. Not his fault. I did not tell him the information that I got, so he did not get that added to your agenda. I literally just got a call from Bob today for an answer for what those vinyl signs were. So a little bit more than what you think still has to be spent.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes.
Could you include, because we're talking about the responsibilities of the DDA in that motion, to include the stickers? We've got them put in the DDA office, and during the week, we get the stickers from Bob. I'd be glad to help sticker them up.
I don't have a problem helping you either.
But I think if we're gonna have drinks, refreshments, the signs, we want to have them updated. So being that the information came in today, I think that, for Fall Festival discussion and planning, I don't think we missed the mark to have it on the agenda to be able to loop it in to a motion, but I think having those stickers would be good.
Yeah, and that's why I say budget a little more than what you think, because little things like that, things that we haven't dealt with before, because we don't have Steve who did this all before, it's gonna happen. We're
Yeah,
gonna.
what's the price of that, the stickers?
He gave me an estimate of $40-something, so
Yeah.
just padding in there, right? So that's why I said $100 more than what you think for food, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
So we do about 1,000.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with anything under $1,000. I don't
make a
think we need to
motion that
budget
we-
anything larger than
I
that.
make a motion that we budget $1,000 for the Fall Festival for the DDA.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Are we done?
With that one, yeah.
The Michigan Downtown Association, the MDA Annual Conference. Any discussion, possible action?
I got 2 emails from the chair and vice chair with interest of going. I would also have interest in going, but I think it's more pertinent for the chair and vice chair to go. And if they're both going, there's no need for a third person to go.
Sure. Well, if by any chance one of us can't,
This is where I'm gonna have a problem with that, right? I honestly think with the amount of involvement you have in the board, you need to go. Because you're not just the secretary, you're also the guy that's in touch with the township when we're not here. We're all volunteer, but you're here all the time. So if we're gonna go, I honestly believe that you should attend the same meeting. In case, what if Jeffrey's out for a prolonged absence and someone has to stand up? What if I'm out for a prolonged absence, someone has to step up? We need one other person, I think, to fill in.
I do agree with what he's saying. And then I guess my question is this something, you know, Supervisor Martin has gone to or maybe should go to? Because, you know, he's gonna be on the board for another 2 years at least. So should he possibly go to this also to get this training also?
Does it align with your schedule, Ben?
I'd be glad to go. I had a good time introducing myself to the MDA conference lady and the login and all that stuff for that. So I would not be opposed to go. I would go if the board wanted me to go.
Same.
so we're gonna vote on
Yeah, we're gonna need
the
to,
vice chair,
and I think we should wanna do a roll call vote on this.
roll call vote.
So ultimately, how many people are you thinking? 4?
You would be talking about 4 people, myself, Jeffrey, you, and the treasurer, Mr. Williams.
Yep. That's what I think. You 4 are the main of the DDA. These 2 have been on it forever. He knows a lot of information. You're the supervisor for the next 2 years. So get all the training you can. And, you know, if something happens to us few that are on the DDA, there's a solid 4 that know what's going on.
Maybe we'll leave there with some ideas on how to get some grants or something.
This is,
I do think of like the Michigan Township Association Conference, when you go and you're, like, when I went and I was by myself and other departments and other members, like, we're all the body of this board, members of this board, and we could go and we could divide and conquer. And then, so when you're there at the MTA conference, there's a lot of classes that I wanted to go to, and there was conflicting schedules on which breakout sessions, and I don't know if they'll have breakout sessions just like that. I'm assuming they will, but there's a lot of hands to shake, a lot of people to make. So I think if we wanted to,
kind of my point, right? If there's 4 of us, we can get a little bit of everything. As opposed to me and Jeffrey trying to jump from one to another that pertains to us with multiple people going, we can all get a piece of that information and bring it back.
So you think they'll believe us in our conversation without a business card?
I believe it'll probably be the last thing they ask you for, since you paid to attend.
they'll give you with our registration, they buy the lanyards.
Or should we wear our DDA t-shirts?
You'll have a lanyard, I'm sure, but by November, we may have a decision on t-shirts. I mean, we're still looking, that's in November. We're in August, so we still have September and October's meeting to decide on business cards and t-shirts, if we attend.
Quick question.
Yes.
What is the mobile tour?
I think it's just drive around town.
They're going to Battle Creek.
There you
It
go.
doesn't say exactly what they're gonna do over there, but it's a drive to Battle Creek to show you what they're doing over there.
That's gonna be fun. Well, we need a roll call vote on this.
Mr. Chair, we also need to determine if we're
Yeah,
gonna do the
that's-
2-day registration or
what I was
just the
fixing.
1-day registration. And then that mobile tour, if you guys are wanting to do that, that's touring the Battle Creek downtown development area. So there's a lot of things to figure out first before we make a motion.
Yeah, that's how you figure out total price. Because each,
So this is gonna be a cost for the,
oh, 100%, it's in your package, shows you
I saw
transportation,
it,
walking
yeah.
tour, and, I can't see networking, I think that's $50.
Yeah.
So essentially $80 per person for the tour part.
I think the walking and networking are in the same, transportation's the only difference, right? The top
Yes.
one is $50.
Yeah,
I
it
think
seems
they're
like
just
it's
charging
two
it.
separate things. You can either do a walking tour or a bus tour.
Yeah,
Oh,
Is what it seems like.
yeah.
The bus.
Well, I mean, your
bus
first one is
getting over there.
transportation.
We got one.
Walking tour.
We got-
Oh, okay.
Vice chair's
on
on
for 50.
Yep.
the vice
Then you
chair's
have-
on the floor.
If you want to just drive yourself, I'm assuming you have walking tour and networking for the other price.
Oh, I see.
Right, the transportation would be the only thing different.
Remember, Rabbit, you had something?
Well, that was, the transportation is, the extra cost,
Yeah.
$20 per person for transportation.
And that,
You could all get in one car and spend less than that.
Yeah, I mean, I would not, personally would not want to pay the extra $20 just for a ride to Battle Creek. If you got a ride to Kalamazoo, you can ride to Battle Creek. Then we could all ride
So we're
together.
looking at $120 for that if all 4 people.
Yeah, that would be another $120
And then $275 times 4.
for you.
You're looking at just over $1,200
Yeah.
for 4 people to go.
would it be beneficial to do the,
I think for a board
Battle
that's
Creek.
new, I think we need to look at attending this meeting
yeah,
to find out what our direction should be, not just with the city, because that will figure out what our constituents like, what people like, but we need to know how we do it properly.
sure.
When I talked to the lady, she did say there would be breakout sessions and all that for this, the one here.
So they're gonna have a bus tours.
No, that's,
You have to drive yourself?
you can get transportation. The tour is walking no matter what, whether you drive or you pay them to drive you. The difference is $20 for a ride to Battle Creek. Now, for all of us, if all 4 of us went, that's almost $100 just to go to Battle Creek. I think we can all pitch in and ride together. Save $100.
Well, I think, we should be voting on what?
I make the motion that we send the 4 people discussed to the 2-day conference and pay for the walking tour and networking.
The full package. You're saying all 4 of us under the full package. That's
Yeah.
the tour and bus ride or,
No, just
Okay.
the walking tour
Just the
and the
walking.
networking at the $30 per person.
Question.
Go ahead.
No, this is a question to you.
no, we got to vote on this.
No, this is a
Okay, I didn't hear the
Robert's
question.
Rule of Order
Which-
question.
Oh.
Should we be voting on something we're spending money on ourselves? Or
Let's
should we
ask
just
the-
abstain?
Let me ask the secretary
That's
on
from
that
this
one.
vote.
Yeah, it's for the board. We can,
Okay,
You can
all right.
vote.
I just want to make sure,
Not a
because,
pay raise or anything.
yeah, we're rolling in it, ain't we?
So this is roll call vote.
I believe it's a
Can you-
roll
can
for
you
that.
We would need someone to support it.
Should we put the amount in there?
It looks like to me 1220, is that correct? Do we want to give them $20 for gas? For the car that they're going to ride in? No? Okay. So I'll amend my motion to $1,220 for the walking tour networking and the 2-day registration for the 4 people involved, which is William Knight, Keith, and you say your own last name, Jeffrey Townsend, and Ben Martin.
This is a roll call.
support.
Roll call vote. You want to do the roll call vote?
Well, we can, yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, we need a roll call vote. Jeffrey Townsend,
Yes.
Keith Wilcher, yes. Ben Martin,
Yes.
William Knight,
Yes.
Larry Rabbit,
Yes.
Matt Elliott,
Yes.
John Shawley,
Yes.
Mr. Jasper.
Yes.
What about you?
Passes. I voted. Second one.
Didn't hear you say your name.
You need to say
Yeah, I
John
do.
is absent.
Oh, Mr. Giesler is absent, but just to clarify, Keith Wilcher, yes.
Thank you. The approval of the, financial support for parking lot repairs at Tim Kearney's own building. Discussion possible. Let me say that because Matt and I have businesses in that building, I think we have to recuse ourselves from this. Or could do the discussion, Supervisor, can we discuss?
Yeah.
Or comment before?
Yes.
If there's gonna be a vote?
I've been on the board and I've seen it both ways. But I would say you could probably have I guess the board would need to the rest of us would need to seek direction. So I think what you would need to do is you would definitely probably need to seek a motion to recuse yourself from voting.
But we can discuss.
And
before.
then the board would then decide whether you want to have discussion or not. William?
Chair, could you, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree. They can probably be a part of the discussion, but they cannot vote.
Yeah. All right. I'll make a motion you need to make a motion for yourself to abstain.
Yeah, you do it.
Yeah, you will, and then.
How would I word that? Make a motion to
Abstain from the vote.
abstain from the vote?
Yes, and then we would second that and say aye, and then he would do the
I
same.
just did.
Okay, all right.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
You still have to call the vote.
And you need a vote.
Yeah, you're still the chair. You're just not voting in this one.
Okay, let's repeat that again. I'm sorry, Larry, you're talking.
Roll call.
We already have a motion on the table and a second. We just need,
So do we need?
All in favor?
aye.
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 Opposed? There's
All
none.
right.
Motion
and then
passes.
You would make your,
I make a motion to recuse myself.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we can have the discussion.
Well, let me say before, I think, could it be that myself and Mr. Elliott can have discussion if we want, and then we can recuse ourselves? Or do we got to go?
Yeah, I've seen it, certain matters that are really dicey, the person has to abstain entirely, and then there's been abstain, but you can have discussion. So you've abstained from being able to vote, and I think by a majority, nobody shared that they didn't want to see you have
I think
discussion.
they
So
can
you guys are more than welcome to have a discussion on the topic.
You guys can put your input in it, in my opinion. You just can't vote on it because you rent from the owner of the building.
Well, I just want to say, Mr. Kearney has done a fantastic job with that building over the years that he started it. It wasn't functionable, and now there is 3-4 businesses going in now, I believe 5, that's coming on board. And the work that he has done, I know he has taken money from his own financial pocket, which all businesses, that's what they do. But as being the board, our position is to try to help the businesses in this area to continue to go. That's tax revenue for the township. And I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to allow myself, and I know Matt probably see it the same way, to put a business in there to help the community. I have seen, when I'm there, I see a lot of people in the community who is talking about how this has been a blessing to them to have these businesses there. And also, we gave an opportunity to some people who work. I hired a couple of people, stylists that's working in the business, and I think that's a heads up and going forward as beautifying the community and the building. Did a fantastic job. And I'm not saying that because I'm a business in there, but I thought from the beginning to now, thank you.
Is there any kind of grants or anything like that that we may be able to find that is applicable to redoing this drive? I know that we did that. We were going to do that one grant for what was
Maine.
for Andrew.
Yeah.
And that was kind of in the same vein. It was working on the building and paving his driveway. Don't remember what exactly came of that.
I believe it just that we were like the principal, because sometimes a municipality has to be a principal and
Right.
then an applicant under them, and for some reason that application was just denied. on that other project.
So can we do something in the same light that would be beneficial?
I think we need to look at the match on Main. It was the same grant that the Rooney's qualified for. That was the $25,000 for that building on the corner. That was match on Main.
What about the board? Do we have any finance that we can, that this board can give out of our budget? Just a question, because I know if we go into this Radisson event to come up with ideas on this monies that we can get for the board to give up, but just in the time being, do we have finances that this board can share, and how much can we share to a business in the community?
So I have this under the budget that we're going to discuss, and so I guess I'll just talk about it a little bit now. So far this year, we've spent $62,812.71. That is
3 times our annual.
far exceeding what we spent last year. Obviously, the $47,090 is for the siren, but we don't have anything else coming in. So that would put us, I wouldn't say in a dangerous spot, but it wouldn't be a very comfortable spot. Right now, our fund balance is at $184,000, and if we dip below $150,000, that's going to put us at a percentage that we don't want to be at. We need what's in our investments needs to stay in our investments right now, because it's our emergency fund basically, and we're not going to have enough for next year if we continue to spend how we have been spending.
I have a question for Mr. Kearney.
Yeah, I have something real quick if I could first.
Go ahead.
So, as many of you weren't on the board and prior, I've had direct conversations with Mr. Kearney, myself, in regards to conduct from the previous board and situations that Mr. Kearney has voiced publicly at the podium. I have been in support of seeing a business have an opportunity to be able to, if they need something on an agenda, a board should put something on the agenda. So I've helped facilitate, hey, we told this business we were going to be on the agenda. There was a meeting here recently. I was made aware that staff changes and personalities have collided, and things haven't gotten on the agenda and had a smooth transition, and I don't support that. I support if a business is to be on an agenda, you put them on there, you give them an opportunity, and then the board makes up the vote. So with that being said, I've had discussions with Mr. Kearney directly. I don't think that would put me in a bind to not be a neutral decision maker, but I have talked to him directly about the concerns of the conduct of the municipality from the standpoint of being a DDA board member, as well as the township supervisor, and as well as then being a DDA board member on this board prior to some of you guys. So I think it's my obligation to inform you where I stand. And there are matters in front of the Planning Commission that I'm not on that board. And I have encouraged the township to keep going through the processes that they told Mr. Kearney that they were going to go through, and it is not resolved. So whether you would want me to abstain from voting for having discussions with Mr. Kearney, I would be glad to do so as well.
Is that not part of your job, though?
It is, but you have to make a disclaimer to the board, because we all need to be armed with the same information up here together. But it is part of my job. It is what I campaigned on. If the local unit of government and personalities, whether they're elected or hired, are kind of stiff-arming somebody and giving them what you don't know the sides of the story. And so my job is to be able to hear those sides of the story and say, hey, look, everybody has an opportunity to be put forth on the agenda if their business qualifies. And I've just, I'm on the DDA board. I'm advocating for growth and development in the downtown area. But it's also my commitment and obligation to let you guys know that I have had direct conversations with Mr. Kearney in regards to his property.
Member Elliott, you have something?
I don't have anything to know.
I do have a couple questions for Mr. Kearney.
Sure,
If we
me as
can-
well.
Yeah, so.
You go ahead and start.
You were first.
Oh,
You were
Mr.
first.
Kearney, does this quote involve just the front road facing side, East Michigan facing side, or does this involve the back parking lot as well?
It's just the back parking lot, the front.
We could try it.
Yeah, sorry.
So we can get it on record.
So it's just the back parking
Yeah,
lot?
it's just the back parking lot, which, if you notice, we're having quite the parking issue in the front parking lot. And we're trying to make more of a handicap accessible front parking and more of a rear parking, area for the storefronts. Nifty Thrifty 5 and Dime is taking off like wildfire. Mainstream will be soon launching, probably next spring, but launching kayaks and canoe and tubing trips right down there from that area. Currently, they're going upstream to do their liveries and their bookings for that, which is kind of a hassle, and it's nice to have them right there and going out back. And so it doesn't include striping, it doesn't include curbs, bumper curbs or any of that, which, that's something I would probably end up paying for ourselves with the striping and handicap parking and curbs and things like that we would need. I'm just, like I say, it would be nice because it's been a long road. My dad's owned that property for 50-some years, and the way that this board started, with no grudge to this current board, but to the past board, they basically took advantage of my father being elder and not being able to get in front of them. And he had a property management company that I don't believe was doing in his best interest and basically robbing him. I also believe this board was out to rob him for this property. After seeing the appraisal for what that property was done by this previous board, it's absolutely ridiculous that they would consider 3 parcels for $70,000. Is what it is, right? It's in my hands now, and we're turning it around. We're trying to bring something back to the center of Comstock. I'm doing the best I can. And it just would, I'm not begging you guys. I don't need it. I just want to know if you're on board. I have 6 businesses on that corner going in. We're renovating the next 2 there that are coming in. They're coming in. We're starting to renovate. The other businesses you have are one business. That's one business. And that's 1 tax base to you. I'm paying 3 tax bases to you. I have 3 lots, zoning lots. So just trying to say that if we look at your revolving account, I'm paying more to you guys on taxes. And if you wanted to partner with what our missions are, I would love to have you aboard and helping us facilitate some of that move. The parking lot is terrible back there. I don't think that we'll get it done one way or another, but I would love for Comstock to say, look, we got that main original building, helped him get that back parking lot done.
Can I ask you a question real quick in regards to the board as well? So if I'm not wrong, a DDA can do a loan with the assumption that it's going to be paid back, but also with a stipulation that you'll get an estimate, or not an estimate, but a tax, an assessment on the property. So once the parking lot goes in, it raises the assessment so that we can recuperate some of those tax rebates back. Is that something we can do? Does that make sense? Like, so, because,
I'm not aware of any loaning.
so I just did a quick search. It says that DDA can facilitate a loan, and it can expect a payment back. But within this, this is me just spitballing here. We can then, within the confines of that loan, we expect it to be paid back, but at the same time tie it with an assessment of the value of the property that's within the DDA parcel, and then you can assess that tax money.
That would be ridiculous to open up to a fair market value assessor right now.
That's fine. I'm just spitballing. I don't know. I don't have enough information, but that's just an idea.
When are you looking to get this done, Mr. Kearney? When are you going to pull the trigger?
Before, you know, like pull the trigger pretty quick, but, you know, I mean, my main focus is getting the other two going. I mean, I'm a business like you. I need to have cash rolling and flush accounts. So the other two businesses are going to come first, so that I can keep a revolving account moving forward. And if the parking lot takes me longer, then it takes me longer. But one way or another, I'll be getting it done. I'm not looking for a loan. We can get grants. I've got plenty of opportunities to get grants and funding through what we've given you. But those grants openings that we apply for, they're staged, so they only come around, application time only comes around like once every 3 years. And if you're not approved for the grant, then you have to wait another 4 or 5 months to try again. So that's kind of where we're at.
Can I ask what amount that you're asking the board for?
I provided you with a $43,000 quote from Lakeland.
43.7.
Yeah, something like that. So like,
Oh, it's on, I'm sorry.
yeah,
I got a question. Is this just the existing, or are you expanding any because of an expectation of increased business traffic, especially when you get into renting out kayaks and the like? Because kayakers will be obviously parking in the parking lot.
I mean, the parking would be something we're gonna have to look at when we do start launching in the mainstream. That's something that Matt and I will have to figure that out, but I don't think that we're gonna be able to allow long-term parking. We would probably have them park down at the drop-off and not in our parking lot.
Well, if your drop-off is going to be Riverside.
I'm sorry, the pickup, which the pickup is proposed to be down there at the Growlers Stadium. That being said, I mean, there's talks with a lot of other entities for that livery to happen. So I don't see an increase in parking for his business, but as you see, I had no idea that Nifty Thrifty was going to thrive as well as it has. And the parking lots are full. And like I said, we're really limited as far as that Kelhaven Trail being right in front of us in the front. So we would like to reserve front areas for handicap needs and give a much better parking facility in the back. You're asking me what I need? I need $40-some thousand so that I can proceed with the launch of close to $200,000, which we currently have the Eagle permit. Do I need it from you? It'd be great. If you choose not to want to do that, that's fine too. We'll find it. We'll get it. We'll make it happen. I'm just bringing the opportunity to you because as one of the 3 parcel paying tax members of your district that pays you taxes for your revolving, as I brought up in the beginning, it would make sense to try to help people that are actually paying you back towards your TIF money. You might not capture $43,000 immediately from me, but you're going to get it back eventually, if that's a 5-year plan or whatever that is, I haven't done the math, but you will get that tax base back.
Sure.
So that's kind of where it's an opportunity for, and originally, that is the original building of Comstock. It's original. It is Comstock. So you guys want to be a part of bringing back the original Comstock? That's all I'm asking. And if not, I'm okay with either direction the board wants to go. It's just something I'm putting in front of you. And if you guys find ways, great. We will continue to find ways as well. So I don't know if I'm answering your questions correctly. I'm not begging you for the
you're
money.
fine.
I'm wondering if you want to be a long partnership and you want to bring the original building of Comstock back and put your stamp on it and said we helped them get that parking lot done.
Did you get only one quote or do you have multiple quotes?
I only went for one quote right now because I know Lakeland is the cheapest because I work for a large university that goes through other entities, and we know that Lakeland works with us, it comes around the cheapest.
And this is just for the back parking lot area,
It's
not...
the entire back parking lot, yeah.
Okay.
Stuff isn't cheap anymore.
Did you ever get a quote on redoing the front too? Because they already have the equipment there and everything. Why not do the front? The front is not as bad shape, but...
It's not, it probably could use a reseal, but again, in stages is what a true business owner is gonna do. They're not gonna put themselves in bankruptcy. They gotta have positive income. And so, my business is to make sure that my bankroll is in a positive and not a negative. So the front parking lot to me is not as big of a concern, other than we're bringing in a lot more cars now than we ever have in the past 10 years. That parking lot's full. So they were all vacant a year ago. I've redone, quite a bit of stuff that you can't see, but the interiors and the mechanical systems, they all cost a lot of money when you start getting into the new mechanics and the new...
I seen you in there when I was plowing at 2, 3 a.m. Your truck was parked there working on the inside, so...
Yeah, so I mean, it takes quite a bit of work and effort and money, so...
I guess on a question for the board and everything, the tax assessment, I'm not big on knowing that stuff. Why would that be a horrible thing, I guess? I'm new at all this, so I am...
To his point,
I'm asking.
to his point, the new tax assessment would raise the TIF capture, which would increase the payment.
Yes, but are we talking about from the business standpoint, raising taxes suck, but from the DDA standpoint, it's good. But I wonder, he doesn't want that and everything, but say we do this $43,000, who else is gonna be knocking on our door?
That is one of my concerns.
Nico's, Valentina's, the guy with the roof that doesn't have a roof anymore.
You kind of open a door.
You open a door, but if we have a stipulation that says, like he said, I don't know the tax assessment and value of, that's way above my pay grade, I'm willing to learn it, but I don't know a lot. But I mean, that would be.
There wouldn't be one business that would want to open up to a fair market evaluation to increase their taxes.
No, there wasn't.
There's not one.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes.
I
Yes.
understand what Mr. Kearney's saying, because then it opens it up, and then your property might get recapped or something along the lines. I don't know if you did open it up, if it would ultimately come uncapped, and because I don't know if it comes uncapped only when it's sold. So I hear Mr. Kearney, totally get it. Who wants to pay more taxes? The DDA can't operate and buy another siren unless we start capturing more taxes. To Jaspery, he's up here thinking like a banker. I've got money, I would loan it with interest, and then you would make money on your money. Then you would likely, if the DDA is allowed to lend like that, because I know like a township board wouldn't we're unique, we're different. That's why we can have public comment and talk back and forth. And so obviously we have to follow the law and figure out where and how we can do stuff. To Mr. Kearney's point, why would he ever borrow money from us if we're gonna slap interest on it if he could get money for free? But then there's opportunity cost of money. If you can get money now but pay a fee and have money in your pocket but borrow it and spread it out. So the DDA would have to position itself in a spot to where it would, you know, the general idea of it would be great to support. But then legality and then the business end of it is like $43,000 would be out of our coffers, and we just kind of swung for the fences and perhaps maybe out of our shoes on putting a siren in. But then, to be fair, what would that vetting process be? Would we have like a process that this board goes through to validate projects? Because then, like, say the bank across the street, if they came and wanted something, if we hit $43,000 4 or 5 times, we're gonna be in trouble. So like, how do we have, like ordinance enforcement? You must enforce ordinances equally. And if you're gonna have enforcement, you must, you know, if John can't have tires in his car parked in his front yard, nor can Joe. So just kind of coming up with, I mean, this is a new concept to be introduced to a government body of a board to fund a project for a private business. I don't know that any of us have that education on that topic, whether or not you can do it, how you can do it, and I'm sure, like Jaspreet was indicating, maybe there is a way that a DDA would differentiate itself from a township board, and it would be, yeah, well, I'll have to read.
Yeah, I know.
But it would just be like, so the money that got kicked into the coffers for the DDA, from my understanding, was it came from the township board.
It did.
So it'd be taxpayer-funded money. Our goal is like property deterioration mitigation in the DDA district. So how could we take that money and end up making more money?
All right, so.
Josh, I'm sorry. I see that you said you found that information from a DDA board. Can you?
From what my understanding is, I don't know if that's the right source, I don't know, but from what my understanding is, the DDA is an independent body
Sure.
that works under the supervision of, or within the confines of the elected officials. So for all intents and purposes, we can do almost whatever we think is necessary for within what we're in charge of. So my idea behind this little scheme I was just cooking up is that what happens is we can go and push this further and further out. What happens is if we can do this, something like this, that doesn't mean necessarily it works for this time, but if somebody is interested in something like this, what we can do is help a business out for short-term gain, get them the money that they need. It increases the value of their business or whatever's going on. Then we can get a return on that. Then we can do that with the following businesses or other items around. So what happens is you actually increase the value entirety of the whole area. So what happens is you kind of just, it's like pushing a rock or a snowball.
It gets bigger.
And it gets bigger and bigger as it goes. And what happens is it increases the value of everybody around it.
Which you're gonna find out, you're gonna get more taxes, but it's also gonna increase people's insurances.
Sure.
Because once their property goes up in value, the insurance has gotta go up.
Right, but it
So
also helps you.
I don't need $40,000,
Right.
especially when, prior to this board, there was Match on Main Street. There was also many other grants that were funded for brick and mortar building. We will give you $10,000 if you're doing brick and mortar builds. Those grants is what I'm talking about, not a loan, not an interest increase, not a tax increase, not an assessment increase. That would be ridiculous for any business to take on.
And not a gift
And
as well? Like,
I mean,
because we can't just give money away.
Right.
well, it's not, I'm not looking at it as a gift. I mean, I'm thinking that, do you want to look across and see a parking lot that's beautiful and you were a part of that? Or do you want to look across to see a parking lot that I've done and then just, go ahead and buy t-shirts and go to things like that and then have people upset because the DDA is getting their tax base and they're not helping? And what I tried to introduce was a revolving account because you get paid taxes twice a year from every person in the DDA district. So that TIF money that you get, and I brought forward multiple times that, I know you're gonna go on this 2-day learning session, but there's free, you can walk in today in the Kalamazoo Public Library, and they will sit down, and because you're already an established 501c3 of a township, they will sit down and just click on the grants that you can get. Nobody has done that yet, and I've been down here preaching that for the past, few months, that just somebody go down to the Kalamazoo Public Library, sit down for 10 minutes and talk to them. You're gonna walk right in and find out that they're gonna direct you because you're already established. You don't have to go through getting your 501c3. You don't have to go through getting all of that stuff. You're already established. You're a township board. You're a DDA board. You already have the Gilmore Foundation on your side. You already have these people that were already promoting a matching grant for $150,000.
So would we be the principal to an organization for a grant for this project? Is that what you would like us to pursue?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm not asking for myself. I am and I'm not. I'm asking for your entire DDA district. Those are the opportunities you need to give businesses, is more grant funding or matching. Then you need to be a banker, because a banker is gonna we're gonna all step back. I don't want increased in property taxes. I don't want increased in taxes, insurances. That's just gonna, what do I have to do as a business owner? I have to pass that on to the customer. Do you want me to tell Jeffrey your rent just went up $800, Matt?
But isn't that gonna happen anyways if there's improvements?
Next assessment, yeah, it would go up.
Your assessments are locked at a percentage of only so many per year. You can't just do an open fair market evaluation unless I sell the property.
Right.
Then you can do that. But there are new laws and statutes in place now that if it's relative, so if I should happen to keep this property and pass it to my relative, you can't do that. You can't open it up to the fair market value. So that will be my plan, that the property stays within my family. So if I decide to sell it, absolutely, you can do a fair market value and say, yeah, this is really worth $700,000 because it's on the riverfront. He's got that much acreage. He's got 3 parcels,
So if we used our engine as the government body to be able to support a project, just like the one that they tried at the, yeah, that's what we should.
That's the match on Main.
Yeah.
There's match on Main, and then there's other avenues that we could talk to sharing when our long-term goal would be to do Sir Roy's as a ice cream parlor and hot dog thing with a small boardwalk. We would entertain letting the public go down there, which would be on your side. They could go on the boardwalk and watch the kayaking, hoping that they come to our ice cream parlor and rent a kayak and get, there's all kinds of opportunities with you guys going into that avenue. So I'm just bringing out a lot of suggestions and a lot of ideas. I'm not asking you to hand me a check today. I'm asking you to look at things and what it costs, and that every business owner needs help at points, because a parking lot is critical just as much as a storefront is, and it's that kind of thing. So all I'm asking is if you would consider more discussion, looking into more grants, more matching grants, going to foundations, going to the Kalamazoo Public Library and sitting down and seeing what the board can get.
Is there anybody that would be able to make a commitment within the next 5 days to go to the library?
I called, I think it was before Steve, well, after Steve left, I did call. You have to make an appointment, and they were booked up at that time. I don't know where they're at now. But, yeah, I would be glad to give them a call and go down and talk to them.
Yeah, they'll tell you that, but if you come in and you're already established 501c, they'll sit right down with you, and they're located in the basement. I think they're called One Direction or One Way or something like that.
Yes.
I guess I'm confused. I thought the DDA, we were supposed to be helping out businesses. We were supposed to be, making properties worth more money to get the tax base, right? If we're not helping out businesses, then you're talking about, oh, well, then Nico's might come over here and this one. Well, why would they? Isn't that what we're here for, to help them out? No, I'm not gonna say give them, all, X amount of money. No, you gotta start somewhere, right? And it's not just because I'm in Mr. Kearney's building, but I guess that's why I joined this, was to help out businesses and business owners in here and help Comstock. We look at downtown Comstock as the four corners, right? What's been done to dress it up, to make it look nice? There's no flowers. There's homeless all over. There's duck crap all over what makes you want to come here to Comstock and do something,
I just think that,
I'm just confused why we're here if we're not helping businesses. I thought that's what we were here for, but.
To Matt's point, I think the better the beautification you get, the more attraction you're gonna get from business people to wanna come into Comstock to give you more TIF money. And that's all I'm bringing forward today. It's a reality check of what people need and help with. Like I say, we're going to be filing for grants like crazy. We have quite a bit of power, just like you do. We're working with the state and county. So when we write grants and we have letters of support right from Department of Health and Human Services that comes right from Gretchen's desk, we have just as much power for writing our grants as you guys do.
Mr. Chair, may I address Matt? Matt, at one point, this board was funded by funds given from the township board, and then those funds, there was, I believe, I don't know that there's been anybody on this board long enough, but those funds, maybe there was like one or two payments that were made, but then those payments stopped. The township board quit funding and putting money into the DDA, and that was because the DDA was to get the snowball going. So we are totally here to help businesses, but we just got to have the tools and the mechanisms to be able to do that, because if we draw down 43,000 plus sirens, like if we do too many things too fast, we won't have any money. And so we got to try to figure out how do we use ourselves as the vehicle to be able to do that, because without the reoccurring income coming back in, like we could go real hard, real fast, but run out of gas.
100%. Well, I understand that, but I also wasn't going to bring my business into Comstock because of how dirty it looked until Mr. Kearney fixed that building up for me and everything else.
Totally.
Why would someone want to bring their business in here right now? What makes you want to have your business in downtown Comstock right now, right? We've got to beautify something. We got to do something. I mean, if, we can't spend money, okay, well, I guess I don't know what we're doing here then.
Yeah, I just don't know if we're legally allowed to give people money
we can't
from
help
a board.
businesses? I thought that's what we were here for, is to help businesses, help.
I'm not asking
beautify.
you to pay for the parking lot. I'm asking if you could do a match on a grant like you used to, if you could do
Certainly,
any kind
we
of
could
thing.
explore.
I think the grant aspect for us to see if there's grants out there to help him and everything.
Oh,
like that,
hands down.
I think that would be the first step to helping business and everything, because $43,000 is going to put us in the hole.
But I think the matches, typically, like the language of the matches, when I first started on the other board, it was that the body would be able to apply for a grant because we're a government body, but the business owner was responsible for the match on the back end. I don't know that we can take our money from our general fund and apply it.
Yeah.
We can do it to public things like sirens, parks, but once we get into personalized properties, I don't know that that's the government's role to, I mean, I understand where everybody's coming from, understand where Mr. Kearney's coming from, understand where you're coming from, but I think we're bound by the bumper rails that are set up, and we need to figure out how we can operate within that, and that's why when we got this new board, we wanted to have presentations and learn what we were to do, and then focus on that. I think another binding thing would be that plan. When that lady mentioned what that plan was, part of that plan that we're bound by, more bound than anything, might not indicate anything about private spaces. It's all sidewalks and tree lighting and landscaping, and so we just have to be careful with what we do.
I would probably disagree strongly with you, Ben, because I think maybe that plan thing is not sidewalks and stuff. That is the responsibility of the township board.
The lady came here and clearly stated that we have that plan that they made when we launched the DDA, and she told us that our hands, unless we find a way to open that plan and change it, and she highly recommended against us changing that DDA plan, that any of our expenditures had to operate within that plan. So when we did the siren, we had to flex within that plan to be able to even do that. So that was some of the nuances of a DDA that I'm not completely familiar with, and that's why I was, before we got.
Mr. Supervisor, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're gonna have to move on and decide.
I wanna move, since he can't vote, and we're not gonna
Can we
come
recuse
to
ourselves from
an
this?
action item on this tonight.
Can I say one more thing before you guys go to stopping real quick? If you guys are looking at spending money, then it may be beneficial for you guys to hire a grant writer for your board.
Well, that was what I was about to get to. Since we're not gonna come to a decision on this tonight, I think we need to pick one or two gentlemen here on this board, whoever feels strongly about it, and let them do some research. Because I know what Ben's alluding to when it comes to the DDA's master plan and what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do, and that's already in writing. And we all have access to it. This is not something that one person has access to. So before we come to the board again, this is why I asked you when you wanted to get it done. Maybe we all need to step back and read that plan and see what the actual point of this is, and see if you're right, before we have this discussion again. Because we're not going to come to a decision right now, which is why I wanted to know when, he's looking to do this. And then if we are available for match on Main, then we need to have a couple of people looking into that. I am willing to do it, but my time is very limited. Okay, I will do it though. If no one else has the time, I'll take the time and do it. But I don't think we're not going to have an action item on this tonight. That we've discussed it and we hear what he's saying to us and we understand it, but we all need to think of how we're going to attack it. And we're not just going to throw money at the problem. If there's another way to attack this with grants then that's what we need to look into. And if we're not aware of that, then we need to do the research on that. Not just
So how should we?
all of us.
How should we move forward in this vote? Or
There is no
discussion?
vote. This discussion would be
Can we
moved
move it on to the next meeting?
Yeah, I would move this to the next agenda, and I
don't know what the next agenda looks like, even if we have a rough thing. If
There's nothing on the next agenda.
Let's just move it to the next agenda then.
Yeah, because as a board, we all need to do some research
Yeah.
on this. Every one of us needs.
So we want to table this to the next agenda?
Yes.
Based
The master
upon-
plan is still available online, is that not
Yes,
correct?
It is.
That's why I said everybody needs to go
And
ahead
that's
and
under the
sit
DDA
down
website.
and read it, because that way, when we're commenting, we're all commenting on the same plan, going in the same direction.
So I make a motion that we table this agenda item until next meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry. Yeah, unfortunately, my daughter is at her very first job of her entire life, and she gets off 1 minute ago. So I need
gotta go.
I gotta go, or I'm gonna be in trouble with two separate women.
You're already in trouble, let me tell you, Dad.
There's not a whole lot going on at the rest.
Keith, Mr. Gisler gets up and leaves at a meeting
I
if
don't
you
like
need to
doing
do that.
If we've got 3 action items left.
You can
Let's
just
just
go.
burn through.
I can get through them pretty
Go
quickly.
quick.
Go ahead.
So the DDA so far this year has got $14,331.79 in revenue, and it's spent $62,812.71, with most of that being the $47,090 purchase of the weather siren. From West Shore Services. After the siren, the DDA's fund balance is $184,094.05. Any questions on the
No?
budget? Next agenda item is, we need to make a,
Hold up. Number 14 has to be voted on. It's an act.
oh yeah, you're right.
I make a motion, we approve the August 2026 revenue and expenditure report as written.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
All right, the next agenda item is the DDA budget amendment. Because of the purchase of the sirens, it put our capital overlay in an overage of $44,090. So I'm requesting that we fix that with a budget amendment. So the motion, I move to amend the 2026 Downtown Development Authority Fund budget by increasing capital outlay by $44,090 from $3,000 to a total of $47,090 to account for the purchase of the public warning siren.
So
That's
roll call.
over and above what we voted on originally.
So, no, this is for the capital expenditure.
This is just,
It just covers the expense of the tower. What we voted on originally was a statement of our current budget. We agreed that that's.
No, I mean, when we voted for the siren, this is.
We agreed to
3,000.
proceed with the project. This is the agreement to pay the bill for the project.
And it's 3,000
Negative.
over what?
No, this is just to put the money in the
So-
right place.
So when we spent the money, we didn't have it in capital overlay. So now our capital overlay budget is at 1,569.67% of its budget. So we need to correct that to make it so it budgets correct.
Makes sense.
So this is a roll call vote?
This is a roll call.
I don't think anyone has supported it yet.
You want to do the roll call vote, Vice Chair?
I'll give
Support.
support to it. If Ben, there you go with Ben. All right, roll call vote. Jeffrey Townsend,
Yes?
Keith Wiltshire, yes. Ben Martin,
Yes.
William Knight,
Yes.
Larry Rabbit,
Yes.
Matt Ellett,
Yes.
John Shelley,
Yes.
Mr. Jaspre.
Yes.
Mr. Geeler is absent, so that passes.
Yep. Any more, is there board members and public comments? You have about half of a minute. There's none?
I just think we really need to delve into what we can and can't do with our looking for grants.
I'm going to
See
agree with you on that.
who we can help, and if so, what we can do for them.
I strongly agree with Mr. Rabbit.
And I don't, it's not just him, but anybody else that can come to us and we can say, hey, this is what we know we are able to do. So the next time someone does approach us, we're not.
Yes. Mr. Tim has given us an opportunity here to find out what we can do for people
Cannot do, yeah.
And
within the confines of not only the law, but finances.
if we find out we can't do a dang thing, that's what we're gonna find out. But if we find out we can help him and numerous other people at the same time, then that's what we need to know what we're doing.
Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Gentlemen, appreciate it. Sorry to cut things short like that, man. She's gonna be madder.